Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from the healthyamerican.org. Well, this real ID is even worse than I thought. In fact, it's worst. Worst is worse than worse. I just heard from a healthy American who wants to get a job doing deliveries. And this is where she has to get a Spark driver app, and it's going to require her to get a real ID. Let me share with you the email that she sent to me with great concern. She said, "Hi, Peggy. My daughter and I are longtime fans of yours since 2020. You helped guide through what was real and what was lies and the law. You were talking about the real ID yesterday. By the way, I will link that video up for you. And I was sharing with you what was on the Department of Homeland Security and a few tips that you could apply in order to push back against this. So be sure to watch that video if you want more info." My Healthy American goes on to say, I thought the real ID was just for flying. I recently moved to Washington to be close to my daughter who moved last May. That was a big mistake, by the way. I spent most of my money moving, and now I'm in an apartment I can barely afford. And my only option for extra money is driving deliveries. I was a teacher in Arizona and California. I cannot really afford to live here. I don't have a job. I'm 73 years old, and my only options right now are driving for Walmart, which is called Spark Driver or Instacart. I got this email that I'm attaching to this note. Can you touch on how illegal this is? How they demand an enhanced license if it's just for flying? If I don't have one, I won't be working. Can you let me know your thoughts? So, this is what she sent me. And the Spark Driver is the delivery service for Walmart. And it says, check out this month's updates below. A new real ID requirements for the Spark Driver app. We're committed to keeping you and your account safe from unauthorized users. Oh, of course, there's all sorts of users that are trying to break into your account. That reminds me back in the day when I used to pay my water bill online, and they made me jump through all of these hoops. Like I had to choose a fruit or a vegetable as my password. It was so strange. Like all these people are trying to get online to pay my water bill. You know that this is just a fake, phony, fraudulent distraction from the truth, which is they want to track everything we do. So this email goes on to say, this added layer of security is to ensure only you have access to your account. Yeah, that's like saying, well, I'm going to play Christy Nome's little advertisement for you in a moment, and we'll break that apart. This goes on to say a real ID compliant driver's license will be required for deliveries in your zone starting this month, which is this month. You'll soon receive an in-app prompt to upload an image of your real ID driver's license. No action is needed until the app prompts you. Important notes: paper driver's license or photocopies will not be accepted. Upload your real ID image to the app, not your Spark driver profile. If you don't have a real ID, upload an image of your social security card instead. Well, there is the fine print. Upload an image of your social security card instead. So that is one step that she could take. Spark Now will be temporarily disabled until your identification is uploaded. So I found a video, and we'll take a look at this. And it is making people think this is all happy and easy. Here you go, updating your real ID. Okay, I want to stop there because they are telling you that you can use your own driver's license. And here it is. You can upload an image of your driver's license. If you do not have a real ID compliant driver's license, upload an image of your driver's license card, front and back. followed by the front and back of your social security card. So they kind of are burying that a little bit in the info. Wouldn't you say so? All right. So that is the info that I will have for my Healthy American, that she can still use her own driver's license and her social security card. Now, let's listen to Christy Nome and what she says about this real ID. See if you can spot the lies.
Hi, I'm Christy Nome, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. If you plan on traveling, we need your help to prevent delays and to prove your identity.
Wait a minute. How does this prevent delays? Like the airport cares about you moving through there quickly. And why doesn't your current ID prove your ID? So these are such weak, flimsy statements that don't hold up to scrutiny.
Get a real ID. Starting May 7th, you will need a real ID to travel by air or to visit federal buildings in the United States.
Well, you can also use your passport. And in my previous video, I explained that the federal government does have the authority to require passports, or to issue passports, I should say, and to require them for foreign travel. But the federal government does not have the authority to tell the United States, each state in the United States, what they must do for their driver's license. And that's why it is an issue. And you're not required to have a passport unless you want to travel to a foreign country. So why is the federal government requiring you to have a federal ID to travel between states and to travel within your own state? Maybe you're flying from San Diego to San Francisco. Why in the non-spinning world would you need to have a federal ID? That's part of the issue. And you know, and I know, it's because they want to track us. They want to trace us. They want to use our biometrics, which include our face, our facial features, our fingerprint, the iris pattern, and who knows, maybe in the future, DNA, if DNA even exists in the way that we've been told. I question everything these days. So it is not for our safety. It is for their control.
These IDs keep our country safe because they help prevent fraud and they enhance security.
Why don't the current IDs enhance security and prevent fraud? They're never going to answer that question.
Please do your part to protect our country. Go today and don't delay.
Do your part to protect our country. So that is just riding on people's patriotism. And what do you think about Kristi Noem as the Department of Homeland Security Secretary? I heard from people in South Dakota when I was helping individuals keep their businesses open and helping them go grocery shopping while they're breathing oxygen. And I heard from parents whose children were not allowed to attend school in South Dakota because they were breathing oxygen. So things are not always what they appear, including this governor. All right, friends, let me know in a comment below. Are you getting your real ID? I gave a recommendation that you can turn your real ID in and get a regular driver's license. And let me share with you, actually, I will find that email. Okay, here it is. I'm keeping the emails anonymous. This was a Healthy American who emailed me today and said, "Hi, Peggy. This morning I did as you asked. I visited the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles with my real ID card. I stated that I wanted to turn in the license with that star on it, as I already had a passport for travel, and all I needed from them was a driver's license issued by the state of Ohio. I told them the real ID should permit me to drive anywhere in the country, and in that case, I didn't really need an Ohio ID. And that they might go out of business. Ha ha. They offered no blowback whatsoever. Anyway, I did it, and I had to buy another non-real ID license for $22. Thanks for all you do." Let's give a standing ovation to this Healthy American who took the action I recommended, went to the DMV, turned in the real ID, and Someone said, Peggy, they probably already have your info though, if you did the real ID. The point that I am focusing on is exactly what this Healthy American did. She spoke to someone at the DMV. She told them that she didn't want the real ID. And now the percentage of people who have the real ID compared to those who don't just raised by it's the reverse. The people who don't have the real ID just raised by one person. And so if more and more people are turning in their real ID card and getting a regular driver's license, this is one way that you can push back. You want to travel, use your passport. The federal government doesn't have the constitutional authority to meddle and to create this law, which is completely unconstitutional, like all of the Patriot Act, the Unpatriot Act laws were. And this is one way that we can push back. Friends, tomorrow, hold on to your hats because I'm going to share with you this company, Idemia, who is actually behind all of this digital biometrics and digital currency. Wait until you find out what country they're from and what they have got their tentacles into and what they actually state on their website is their goal. It is jaw-dropping. I'll be back with you tomorrow. In the meantime, watch my previous video if you missed it about the Real ID. And also, I have a video for you all about how to travel at the airport without being groped and without going through the cancer screener. Hopefully that info is still valid and you can also opt out from the facial recognition. All you do is don't stand in front of the camera and you say, no, thank you. Please verify my identification yourself. That's all you need to do. That's what we can do. And there are more how-tos in my Substack that will be coming out following this video tomorrow and in the video itself. Thank you everybody for being on board. And I look forward to continuing this conversation in the upcoming broadcast.